All right, y'all. So apparently, I think I recorded a whole motherfucking video with no motherfucking sound. Where the fudge they do that at? Now I'm mad. Okay, so I'm gonna cut straight to the motherfucking chase. So apparently, Jasenya and her long couple boyfriend Bryan are split, and Jasenia came out with her story. Now I'm a firm believer that if you break up with somebody, just end it. You don't have to go into they did this, they did that, because then it got people wondering, why did you stay in that? Why did you stick around? And then, but you got to also think about the fact you're not a child anymore. You're not 18. You're not 19. You're over 20. So I'm not going to feel sorry for a grown woman. Not. Because the thing I did here was she trying to paint this picture like he was such a manipulator. But at the end of the day, I feel like her family rides very, very, very hard for her, and they're not going to let her just date anybody. To be honest, I feel like their mom is very vital in who they did pick for their YouTube partners. And that's just my opinion. But I feel like she would not let her daughter be with a narcissist manipulator. If anything, it gave me very much that Jasenya was more dominating, more of the control factor. Like people had to do what she said in a relationship. And it seemed to me as if her guy friend was so enthralled that he was willing to do whatever she wanted. If she said jump, he was willing to say how high. And to be honest, he was the main reason I watched the couples channel. When I did watch it, the very few times that I did, was because I just loved the way he loved her. Like, I love to see love, genuine love. Now, true enough, he could have been 9 years older than you when he met you when you said you were 17. But at the end of the day, just because you're 17 doesn't mean you're innocent. I know plenty of 16, 15-year-olds that are not innocent. But at the same time, he didn't fool with you, or you said you moved in with him when you were 18. So technically you were ready to get out the house. He was there, and then y'all got together or whatever. So he was there to help you get out the house. Now, it sounds like you may have maybe used him, if anything, but that's cool, because in life you sometimes have to use people. But not saying you did. But that's what it's given, if anything, not the fact that he groomed you. Like, I don't see that. To be honest, like I said, I just don't see him ever being able to tell her what to do. Like, I just don't ever see that. And that's one of the reasons I couldn't watch it, because it was cringe a lot of times for me. And the sad thing is, this man is living in a tent now. This is an attractive man. This is a loving man. And I had no idea that they were together for 8 years. Imagine proposing to this woman year after year, thinking because y'all been together for 8 years, and then she tell you that she doesn't want to be with you. Wow. That's hard. And if you don't know, men love harder than women. It's crazy, but they somehow do. That's why they get in their feelings over you cheating and all this stuff. It's crazy. Now, I'm not saying he was perfect. I'm not saying that Jasenya was perfect or that she was the only problem in the relationship. But what I am saying, I know for a fact that if the relationship didn't work out, it was more so because she didn't want it to work out. Because I feel in my soul, with everything in it, that he wanted that relationship to work. So much so, I just remember him. Didn't I see him propose at least 2 or 3 times? Like, it seemed like they was always getting engaged. And it always seemed that she would always turn it down or say she wasn't ready. So maybe he just got tired of like the 3rd or 4th year proposing, and he gave her an ultimatum. What else is she going to do? She's like, I'm not supposed to marry you. And they split up. That's what it's giving me. Because I never felt that she was going to marry him. It kept giving me vibes that she was cringe, vibes that she wanted him to not ask her. But I feel like she just wanted to go with the facade for the camera. It never gave me marriage vibes. But hey, I could be wrong. But apparently it never did, because here we are years later after I already knew that they're separated. And like I said before, I made a, a pool that her brother is separated, she's separated, and Natalie and Easy would be the next two, if anything. It wouldn't surprise me, but they're working their stuff out. Because I made a video, they're going to probably definitely be working their stuff out. But at the end of the day, he said he didn't want to bash her. He didn't want to say anything, but he didn't watch her video. Like, you might want to watch her video because people are thinking you're the bad guy. Which he said he did a video because he wanted people to know he wasn't a bad guy. Like, I don't feel like he's the bad guy. To be honest, it's a plenty of older men who like younger women, and they genuinely like them. For some reason, older men really think younger women want them. For some reason. And in fact, a lot of women do like older men, but it's usually not older to where when they get 50, you're like 30. Not that old, but that's usually what women want. Men want. They want some woman to take care of them, and women like, no, you're not fun anymore. And then they get left. But I'm sure that's not their case because he wasn't that much older than her. But at the same time, like, I want him to be okay. Because when I was young, like, it would only take me, even now, a couple seconds, minutes for me to know if I want to be with somebody or not. Maybe it's just my gift. I don't know. I thought everybody had that. Like, I can tell when somebody's BSing me or if it's something worth pursuing or not. Like, it's just like, I wouldn't take 8 years unless I'm getting something from it, if that makes sense. Like, if I know that I'm content, I have a friend, I'm attracted, I have somebody to hang out with, like, I'm gonna stick it out. But if I know a person really cuts for me, but I'm not feeling the same about them, I'm not going to lead a person on for 8 years and then be like, no, I don't want to be with you. Now, I would if I just had to, because I have broken people's hearts before, but I wouldn't recommend it. And as my older self, I wouldn't do that now, because I know people be really thinking you really have feelings for them. It's so sad because I've actually had to tell some people that I was in a relationship with, like, it was never that. It was just me giving you a chance. And they really thought I was in love. I was like, no. Okay, back to Jasenya and Bryan. So that's why I guess I'm able to pick it up more so, because I literally was not ever genuinely in love in none of my relationships. So I can see it in other relationships because I know the looks, I know the feels, like, I get it. And I feel like a lot of people's relationships, especially on social media, are fake. But just to know that it was 8 years, no, you're not just a bad man that you spent 8 years with, because now I'm gonna look at you sideways and start wondering why did you stay with somebody that was so horrible for 8 years? Because most people don't even last in marriages for a year, let alone a couple months. So 8 years is almost a decade with one person. And to be honest, thinking of the guy that I used to talk to that's older than me, he actually would talk about a relationship that he was in for almost a decade, which I told him to get out of, but if he wasn't happy. But at the same time, it's just like, you with the person for a decade, so how do you really look? Being miserable with someone for a decade. Now, truth be told, I have done some dumb stuff in life, but if you're doing dumb stuff, if you would say you were with a person 1 year, okay, I'm be like, okay, cool. Like, I'm gonna listen to what they're saying. Maybe 2 years, maybe 3. But you're with them almost half of 20 years. I'm gonna start wondering, like, something's not adding up. So I don't think Jasenya's fully innocent in this. I don't think Bryan is fully innocent in this, but I don't want people to bash him, because I know for a fact, every time I saw them, he gave me hope that men could genuinely love a woman. And I want to put that out there. Regardless of his faults or mistakes that he made, he really gave me hope in the fact that men could genuinely love. And I don't want that to be overshadowed, overlooked, and make people think that he's unlovable, he's not forgiving. Because men have hearts too. Men have feelings too. And just because he's older doesn't mean that he's going to automatically bounce back. He gave you 8 years of his time. That's a long motherfucking time. If I give 8 years of somebody in my life, let alone 5 years, that's like a death. Like, I'm going to be a little hurt. Especially if I'm thinking they're going to marry me and I'm going to spend the rest of my life with them. Like, it almost makes me want to cry. And then I see him in the woods. Like, it really breaks my heart thinking about it. And I just hope he's okay. Like, Bryan, you still look good. Your body still looks nice. Don't let this one relationship that wasn't meant for you break your soul, break your spirit. And because there's women out there who are not going to wait 8 years to tell you they're not feeling you. Now, maybe in the YouTube industry, and maybe that's why he's done with YouTube, because it was fake as fuck. But, and even Jasenya, I wish her the best. She's still pretty. She's still young. She's going to bounce back as well. But let's just not bash people, especially if they're not going to defend themselves because they care. Like, let's not do that. I wish them both the best. That's just my opinion on the situation. Hopefully this all got in because my other video did not record. Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is.